If I have learned anything from creating what is likely to be considered my magnum opus of a YouTube video, it's that much like the title of a Nisio Isin manga I covered on this very channel, the video was imperfect. Between the onslaught of corrections on this not being Satori, and the few commenters that decided not to look at my editor's notes, you've made it abundantly clear that I really need to be 100% positive on my facts before uploading them in a video. And I hear you. I should have consulted Toho connoisseurs to make sure I called this character Moko instead of Fujiwara, among various other poor pronunciations. Granted, I have gained some nice knowledge from very patient fans who inform me of interesting facts like this character is from the Seiho project and Memories of Phantasm's first episode was officially dubbed. But it does not change the fact that all 100k plus of you have pointed out that my Toho knowledge is lacking. So, to make it up to you, in this video here today, I promise to make absolutely no mistakes in regards to my general knowledge and pronunciation. For if I am to mispronounce a single character name, I will don a hat that reads, "Be patient with me, I mispronounce Moko as Fujiwara." Now, let's get down to business and talk about a very stupid ice fairy. If you're at all familiar with Toho, TF2, or even just the Fumo side of the internet, you should be familiar with Cirno. Cirno is an ice fairy who is extremely poor at using her powers and has an IQ level equivalent to the amount of pixels in one Danmaku bullet. Of course, I'm exaggerating a bit, but she is quick to be framed as idiotic. Case in point being the infamous 9 Baka label screenshot from Phantasmagoria Flower View, but that's more of a joke from Zun than anything else. While she may be a bit of an airhead with a superiority complex, she does actually know when to back down from a battle. It is also interesting to note that she can read and do fractions. Yes, you heard me right, dear viewer, Cirno does indeed host a perfect math class at least once a week. To put it simply, Cirno is clumsy but bold and always holds the stance that she is the strongest, when in reality, this notion that Cirno is the strongest is only a large but lovable delusion that maintains the very fabric of the Toho fandom even in our roughest of hours. Which is why you're even here today watching this video, because you, like me, cannot get enough of the silly blue fairy in your life. However, while I know that's why you're here, I still cannot shake the notion that you have doubts about the remainder of this video. You may be asking, can it really be argued that Cirno is the strongest character in all of Toho? And you're extremely valid for asking that question. While it's true that Cirno has a fair amount of firepower among fairies, there's debate to be had on whether she's even the strongest of her own kind, let alone the strongest Toho character. This is why I've taken the burden on myself by doing about 3 minutes of research to find an argument that could be considered valid. Do I have a solid argument? Probably not, but if you're cool with it, we can bullshit our way through this one, alright? So let's talk about strength, shall we? My first idea for an argument was finding some sort of attack, spell card, or ability that Cirno has and see how much it could be exploited against strong opponents. This, however, has proven to be futile. Not only because Cirno freezing frogs may actually be Cirno's most powerful skill, but also because I'd have to prove that at least one aspect of Chiruno could outweigh the power of whoever I believe to be the most powerful Toho character, which is just subjective in and of itself. For example, you could make the case for Master Manipulator Yukari Yakumo, someone with incredible skill and knowledge, but then you would be ignoring other aspects like pure raw power. Does tactical manipulation equate to strength? How about characters that just can't be beaten? Immortals like Princess Kaguya or the legendary No. If someone like No can beat characters to a pulp and can't die, is she the most powerful? Probably not, but ice and fire don't mix anyway. Hell, if we wanted to take the easy route, we could just look at Hell. Zune has gone on record and said himself that Hekeisha Lapis Lazuli is completely past the level of anyone in Gensokyo or the Lunar Capital, because she doesn't play by the rules. But I mean, come on, this is one interview with one spur-of-the-moment comment from Zun about a silly t-shirt wearing goddess. My point is that even if we were to listen to Zun's words at face value, it still doesn't help us narrow down the strongest Toho character. And again, nothing Cirno has would come close to beating any of those characters. Well, nothing Cirno has, at the moment, that is. Hidden Star in 4 Seasons, aka Perfect Cherry Blossom 2, aka Entering Zune's Back Door. Upon researching Cirno's in-game appearances to look at the strength of her attacks, I stumbled upon a particular entry that stood out from the pack. Among the 5 mainline entries that Cirno appears in, she is only actually playable in 2. Those being Phantasmagoria of Flower View and Hidden Star in 4 Seasons. HSIFS is uniquely interesting though because of its main antagonist, that being Okina Matara, proud member of the Uchiha clan and founder of Konohakagure Village. Wait, no, sorry, I got my Mataras mixed up. Give me a moment. Oh yeah, one of the sages of Gensokyo, founders and creators of the Hakure Barrier. With the other 2 members being Yukari Yakumo and Kasani Baraki, let's just say the sages are not opponents to be taken lightly. While I said that strength is subjective, there's still no denying that Yukari Yakumo is quite powerful, which means that Madara Uchiha is likely somewhere around her level. Knowing all this, I thought that if there was any game Cirno was able to prove her strength with, it would be this one. After all, in Touhou, the protagonists pretty much always win against the antagonists. Well, if you can dodge the bullets, that is. So let's dig in to Cirno's story in Hidden Star in 4 Seasons to see how this seemingly weak ice fairy is able to successfully solve an S-level incident and take down one of the founding members of Gensokyo. And speaking of digging in, I'd love to dig into a munchie meal, but today's video is not sponsored by Jack in the Box. You, Jack, and your menu downsizing ass. You used to have one of the best deals in the industry, but much like my Toho pronunciations, you royally fucked it up. Your munchie meal, complete with choice of one of 4 unique late-night sandwiches, half curly and half straight fries, 2 tacos, and a drink, is now generic enough to be in a market of perfect competition. What the hell are these sandwich choices? Where's my sriracha curly fry burger? My spicy nacho chicken? My double-stacked grilled cheeseburger? I actually didn't care for this one, but at least it was unique. And don't think I haven't noticed the price hike, okay? $6 to $8 was fine, but $10 for a munchie meal? How is that any better than the regular menu pricing that's only $1 to $3 more? I really only come around once a year now when that sweet popcorn chicken is back in season, but my god, you're almost as bad as Taco Bell at this point with their nacho fries. These little spicy chicky delights should be a permanent menu item at this point. I like them, you like them, they make you money. Just do us a favor and bring back the stoner food. Thanks. Now, where was I? Oh yeah, entering Zun's back door. Apparently, Perfect Cherry Blossom wasn't enough. Zun really seems to like seasons, enough to even hide a star in them. HFCS follows the tale of one of 4 protagonists as they uncover why each section of Gensokyo seems to be harboring a different season. Okina Matara has forcibly opened back doors on everyone in Gensokyo to draw out their true potential. Fairies seem to be the ones particularly benefiting from this seasonal power, leading us back to Cirno. Each of the 4 protagonists has a main seasonal power with a sub-power that you can choose from. Reimer's with spring, Aya with autumn, Chiruno with summer, and Marissa with winter. Wait, shouldn't Cirno have winter? No, she actually has summer. This character is just one big joke to you, isn't she, son? No matter, Cirno easily proves that she can be a summer ice fairy nonetheless, complete with a tan and a sunflower charm to boot. Akin to every other Toho game, the story is largely the same no matter which character you choose, but that doesn't mean Cirno's isn't complete without its unique charm. Since she's never really had power before, she becomes mad with it. After conquering the Eternity Larva, she fully believes that she can conquer all of Gensokyo as its overlord. And honestly, she might. Her strength seems to impress all of her opponents, with Nemuno questioning whether she's even a fairy and Aon commenting on her impressive aura. Granted, she's still as dumb as a doornail, mistaking cherry blossoms for fall leaves and failing to comprehend that her power is borrowed. In fact, her head is so far up her ass that she's the only one of 4 characters to enter her own back door. No, seriously, this is in the game. What are you really getting at here, Zun? The little rampage that our icy friend has is quite silly, but there are a couple of caveats to her power. For one, the power is borrowed, meaning that Cirno is still pretty weak at her core. And secondly, according to Aon, the power has an evil essence behind it. This is the cause of Cirno's supercharged rampage and supposedly makes her lose all sense of self, with the tan being a side effect of this. But then again, if she can enter her own back door, I don't think she's lost her sense of self quite yet. When Cirno encounters Okina, that's when things get interesting. While Okina is impressed by Cirno's strength, they fight only to test that strength and nothing more. After all, she is still the one in control of Cirno's seasonal power. The battle drags on for quite a while, but right before her final spell card, Okina plays a dirty trick. She closes Cirno's back door and kicks her out of her domain expansion. With a clearer head now that it's out of her ass, Cirno re-enters the land of the back door through someone else's ass. The Eternity Larva, Wriggle Nightbug 2 if you will, whose door just so happens to have the power of the border between seasons, or doyo as Okina calls it. Doyo is the time where two seasons are transitioning into each other and is also particularly a weak time for fairies. This tactic is seen as brilliant to Okina, who even mistakes Cirno's idiocy as just an act for a brief moment, when in reality, it's discovered that Cirno didn't even know what she was doing. She entered the larva's back door entirely by coincidence. Regardless, since Okina can't close Cirno's back door, they can finally have a proper battle. Once Okina is defeated, she acknowledges Cirno's mastery of the door on her back, and Cirno exclaims that her long road to becoming the strongest is finally over. It's also interesting to note that Okina seems to hold Cirno highly. This is because Okina claims that the whole purpose of the incident she caused was to find a replacement for her two servants, a job that she offers Cirno, when in reality she just wanted to boast her power and make sure Gensokyo was still functioning properly. Cirno, of course, is too airheaded to figure that out, but if Okina wasn't impressed by Cirno's strength, she wouldn't have even considered her for the job, especially if she never intended to replace her servants in the first place. But that's about it for Cirno's story in HDLG TV. So now, let's break down the significance of Cirno's power displayed in this unique Toho entry. Cirno is given an immense amount of seasonal power within her HSIFS storyline. Comparing the enemies she takes down here to ones that she could defeat at her normal strength, you may even say that she is overpowered. However, if you pay attention to the type of power she's given, you'll notice that she isn't even close to reaching her full potential. Let's look at how she utilizes seasonal power and theorize her max potential by breaking away all of her barriers. Let's start with summer. Cirno's summer power is counterintuitive in nature. Sure, she is a force to be reckoned with, but imagine the type of strength she would have if her seasonal power was winter rather than summer. Now let me turn your attention to Cirno's doyo power that she exudes in the special stage. If Cirno was able to take down one of Gensokyo's sages with a power that's essence was particularly weak for fairies, she must have a pretty insane amount of control over seasonal power at this point. Likely more than Reimu, Marisa, or Aya since she's a fairy. With unfathomable winter powers and immaculate control over those powers, Cirno should be unstoppable, right? Well, she could be, but there's one more barrier that she'd have to eliminate first. Her stupidity. That's right, you heard me. Cirno needs to exit her own back door. Only then would she realize that becoming Gensokyo's overlord is entirely within her reach. Cirno could become a menace, a terrorizer, an unstoppable force and an immovable object, a Jizo statue and a Komainu. So, it's really true then. Zun just nerfs her because he fears what she could become. My god, Cirno really is the strongest, isn't she? The strongest Toho character of all time! But, wait, what's this? Is that Okina Matara sitting in a chair? No, it can't be. Is she handicapped? Oh no, oh god, oh, no, damn it! My theory was bogus. Cirno can never be the strongest because Okina has the one power that Cirno will never be able to obtain. The ability to park in handicap spots. Happy April Fools, you fairy lovers. Now go like the video before I enter your back door.